for today, Wolke from the CONABIO in Mexico, who's going to give us an example of how Mexico is trying to apply some of the outputs of WePlan into the national context. Wolke, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Blaise, and thanks for the invitation and the introduction. So hello to all from Mexico City. Next slide, please. So just one quick line of introduction. The main objective of CONABIO, a commission of the federal government, is to promote, coordinate, and support activities aimed at increasing awareness of biodiversity and its conservation and sustainable use for the benefit of society. And with the exactly same spirit, we are developing a national information system for environmental restoration to sum efforts to hold the biodiversity crisis that goes in line with national and international goals. Next slide, please. So the open access platform is designed to provide relevant and sound information to support restoration activities at different spatial scales. And the idea is to address all aspects of restoration and to offer different components. But here I will just emphasize two of them. So one component is a standardized database to compile data and experiences of published works. We have now compiled around 1,300 publications just for Mexico. And a second component is a spatial toolkit which is exactly the WePlan-Forests platform. So the idea is with this information to guide future projects. So the timing of the collaboration with WePlan-Forests is absolutely perfect, as WePlan also focuses on biodiversity and climate change mitigation objectives, and it offers cost-effective scenarios to boost on-the-ground actions. And Renato already mentioned the 5 main questions that the WePlan-Forests can address. So this is absolutely critical for the restoration projects we are trying to boost in Mexico. So next slide, please. So we are now sharing a wealth of data, including, for example, documents for methods or input data, as you can see here. The species and occurrence records have been validated or generated by experts. And the next step is to integrate this information using the systematic conservation planning approach Renato just mentioned. So once we have the national output, that can be used to validate or to compare them with the global results and to see if both are accurate. And for now, we are just focusing on tropical ecosystems, but the idea is to expand on other ecosystems occurring in Mexico. So next slide, please. It's worth mentioning that Mexico has several projects related to systematic conservation planning tools and concepts, as for example, the priority sites for restoration, priority sites for conservation of crop wild relatives, or climate change corridors. And this information we generated in CONABIO is used to guide public policy. For example, to implement ecological corridors or to define areas for ecosystem payments. And similar to this purpose, the WePlan outputs or the results we will obtain with this collaboration will be used to guide bottom-up approaches, but also to guide top-down projects which are mainly at a greater spatial scale. So from the backyards of different Mayan communities to large landscape approaches. And of course, they will also be used once we have a national restoration strategy. We don't have one yet in Mexico, as for example, Colombia. I think my colleague will provide further details on how they will use it on that national strategy. But anyway, much work needs to be done, and we are aware that ultimately the social actors and the local actions will determine the success of restoration actions. So on the next slide, please. I would like to thank you, the collaboration and the fruitful discussions with the WePlan team. So especially Renato, Brooke, Marina, Blaise, Lisa, and Robin. It has surpassed all expectations. We are really are key to environmental policy applications. And so thank you for all the effort, and thank you for the audience, for the interest and time and attention. That will be all from my side. So muchas gracias.